asked a large group of people, how many of you are searching with AI or ChatGPT? Pretty much everyone put their hands up, right? So if you want to be future-proofing your strategy and maximizing your visibility everywhere people are searching, you have to be accounting for AI. Now, whatever you call it, right? Generative engine optimization. Some people call it LLM optimization. Again, it's a critical part of how you plan for the future. And if you even think about all the changes that have been going on with Google, right, who we've said is the number one way that people still find information, they've continued to expand their new AI overviews, which is their AI generated answers that are right in the SERP. This rolled out to the United States more fully back in May, and they've just recently announced that they're rolling it out to a bunch of new countries. So it's definitely here to stay, and you want to find a way to rank and capture visibility in this new search landscape. Now, some of the best practices that will work for your brand, regardless of which platform you're trying to go for, right? Google's AI overviews, Perplexity, ChatGPT. These are some of the things that you want to focus on. Getting mentioned, right? When you go to these AI tools, they want to leverage brands that they trust, brands that are talked about a lot online. So you need to make sure that you're getting mentions and links from all across the web from relevant, trustworthy sources. Now, I talked earlier about EEAT being, really important for your written content. So again, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness, you need to make sure that you are taking a step back and thinking about how you incorporate these signals into your content. You can do this by leveraging expert authors who are, credentialed or proven within their field. You can do this by showcasing the awards that you've won, the certifications that your organization has. You also have to make sure that you're covering your topics very thoroughly, right? Long tail keywords, and we'll actually talk a little bit more about that later, but long tail keywords have been an important part of SEO for a long time, and they're here to stay when it comes to how you optimize for AI. You also want to answer your topics very, very thoroughly. Neil's tool, Answer the Public, is great for this because you can get a view of every single question somebody's answering for the topics that you want to be seen as an authority in. Then you have to make sure that you integrate the answers to all of those questions into your strategy. And of course, similar to traditional search, you have to make sure that you've got your technical SEO best practices in place as well. Now, let's talk a little bit about ChatGPT specifically. Neil has an amazing post on his site about these factors that you can see on the right-hand side. But some things to call out that you might not be thinking about, right, is the age of both your website and how long you've been selling certain products or being seen as an authority within that space. So in addition to some of the things we just talked about, like brand mentions, these things are going to impact your chance to rank with ChatGPT. And now let's talk about the new kid on the block, right? ChatGPT is announcing this big new search engine that's going to compete with Google. And it's not taking market share yet, right? Because it's not widely available to the public. It's only been released to a small number of, early testers. But it's not a bad idea to be thinking about how can you future-proof so that as people do start getting access and using Search GPT over, say, Google, that you're ready to go. So follow the tips on screen to start getting prepared today. And if you want a full POV on how to win in Search GPT, you can head to NP Digital or Neil's site and download our POV Understanding Search GPT to get all the tips that you need to know.
And one quick thing, when you guys think about like Search GPT, I've been getting a lot of people, or we've been seeing people hit us up being like, oh, do we think Search GPT is going to take over Google or vice versa? Is it going to be the end of Google? Search is turning into something that's more like social. There was Facebook. I know there were some players before Facebook, but Facebook was a dominant player for a while. YouTube did not kill Facebook, and Facebook did not kill YouTube. Instagram did not kill Facebook. TikTok did not kill Instagram and Facebook. The average person uses 6.6 or 6.7 or 6.8 social networks per month. It's one of those numbers. There was a study by Demand Sage that broke it down, but it was somewhere in the high sixes. In other words, people use more than one platform. We're seeing the same thing with search. You use Google to search. You also use Quora sometimes to search and get your questions answered, right? You can use Perplexity. You can use Search GPT. The possibilities are endless. It's not like winner takes all. There's many options and people have a use case for a lot of these platforms.
Yeah.
So optimize for all of them and don't worry, where should we spend our effort? Because this one's going to win. Too hard to predict. Instead, you should be like, there's a lot of them. Let's optimize for all of them because it's not that much work and they can all use our content and promote our products and services and brand on these platforms as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'll also say, and I mentioned this earlier, if you look at the tips that we have here on how to win on Search GPT, they're not all super unique to Search GPT, right? So take a look at all of the tips we've shared today and look at how many of them overlap, right? And start with the ones that seem most feasible to you and work with an agency like NP Digital who knows how to maximize, where you're investing your time to gain visibility across the most amount of platforms. Because to Neil's point, people are using, 6, 7, probably even more in many cases, places to find what they need. So you'll definitely have to make sure you're accounting for all of them and not planning on one of them, killing off the others and making you not need to focus there. And another one that I know I've been getting a lot of questions about, both from clients and just people across the industry, is Perplexity. So another company that's coming in and trying to take some market share from Google. Perplexity, has a lot of unique things to optimize for. So when it comes to winning on Perplexity, follow the tips on the screen, right? Make sure that your content's up to date, you're refreshing it, that you're using the published date, the last updated date on your blogs. Some things that are pretty specific to Perplexity, they tend to cite Yahoo, MarketWatch, and CNBC a lot. So when you're thinking about your digital PR strategy, think about how you can get cited and backlinks from these sites specifically if you want to win on Perplexity.